dear parents of the Taurus child. How are you? I hope you are having a wonderful September, that your August was great and productive. This is again for the September month for the child, for Taurus child. Actually, it's for the parent, but about your Taurian child. And just a reminder that this is for all age ranges. So some of you are here for itty bitty ones. Others of you are here for older children, teenagers, etc. And that's just fine. And please remember to, you'll hear he, she here throughout the reading, but please adjust gender to how it best resonates. This is not a gender specific read. All right, let's get started. Let's see what's happening here in the month of September, what your Taurus child is experiencing during the month of September, dear parent. Oh, there we go. Let's see, anything else? What is the Taurus child experiencing here? You've got additional cards. I see. So lots of little options here. I'm already getting the energy of an older Taurus here. And by older, I mean maybe like 12. I mean, this is going to apply. Remember, this is a general reading, right? So it's going to be different for everyone. But here's what I'm getting. So Seven of Cups is all about different options and maybe even sometimes confusion because there's too much to choose from. This can be about friends. It can be about trying to figure out, do I still want to hang out with the kiddos that I hung out with last year or what have you? Because a lot of you here, especially in the US, depending on where you are in the world, right? A lot of you, your kiddos are heading back to school here in September or have already done so. And so there's a sense here of wanting to choose, like your little one being confused. And a lot of times when this comes up in child tarot, it's about other kiddos. It's about friendships and potentially new friends coming into their sphere, right? And having to choose, like, oh, I kind of like my old friends, but here's this new person. He's kind of fun or she's kind of cool. And, just kind of navigating that whole, we forget about it, right? As adults, how difficult that was, that trying to make new friends when we're kiddos and just navigating with every transition, every school year and getting older and having new energy come in. And so your little Taurus is having a little of that going on. Also, the Chariot came out paired with the Seven of Cups along with the World. So this also speaks about movement. So some of you potentially have moved to a different school district or neighborhood or environment or movement, or even have traveled or will be traveling here because you have the World card paired with the Chariot. So when you have Seven of Cups, which is about a lot of options, seeing a lot of new things, this can also be about sightseeing and tourism and learning new things while you're traveling or learning new things at this new location that you're moving to, right? It's also about learning potentially new languages, also about diversity, right? Because we have several cards here, or two cards here of diversity. You have Seven of Cups, which can also indicate children of different races, ethnicities, languages that potentially they're coming into contact with, because maybe some of you have moved to a more diverse neighborhood potentially, right? So there's an emphasis here of a lot of new and trying to figure out and decipher between all these new things because of some movement forward that has taken place, some either relocation or temporarily visiting a different environment, or even just discussing this move can potentially be causing them to look at all these different options, right? So in general, though, it is about expanding, because anytime we have the World card, especially in child tarot, it's about learning, a little person here getting enlightened because of everything they're learning and new, just there's a lot of new here in these, in this card, in these cards currently that your little Taurus is experiencing. So let's see what a potential conflict or challenge may be for little Taurus so that we can help them navigate the month of September, dear parent. Okay. Oh, the Tower. Yeah. So there's a significant change happening. Let's see. What else, dear Spirit, do we need to know about a conflict or challenge that little Taurus, that little Taurus is facing here in September? Okay. So there's a big change here, right? We have the Tower. And the Tower does not need to be anything negative at all. It just means that some shift has happened. But you see, there's a little house there. And the house usually symbolizes security, safety, um, discipline, parents, family unit, right? All of those things that fall under the symbolism of a home. And so there's a shift, a significant shift that has happened. And by the way, the shift can be as simple as you remodeling a bedroom, and that in itself has caused a shift in the dynamic of how your day-to-day routine um, happens in the home, right? So it doesn't necessarily, even though we did get some movement cards here though, so I do feel heavily for some of you there is definitely a movement of a home, potentially an expansion, potentially even downsizing. It's going to play out differently for all of you, but it doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be a huge change. However, the change is big enough that it is causing some kind of readjustment in the life of Taurus. And this is the conflict and the challenge that they are experiencing. Especially little Taurians really thrive and do well with routine and consistency, right? That's actually something that very much helps Taurus. And I know that's a generality, but for the most part, that's true when it comes to the nature of a Taurian. They need consistency, they need a flow. So even like a small adjustment to the home life can cause some conflict and challenge and potentially anxiety in your little one. However, in this case, although something big is happening, it's not actually causing anxiety in your little one. It's the opposite. It may be causing a little bit of laziness. It may be causing a little bit of, well, I'm just going to sit right here while everyone around me goes crazy doing what they have to do. And there may be a sense, and this could pose a challenge, right, for your little one. So you know how sometimes we're working around children and doing all the heavy lifting and running around because we don't want them to be affected, right? And in this case, that could cause a bit of a, okay, I'm just going to sit back and let all the other people worry about whatever they need to worry about. And I guess it's good to a certain extent, right? Because it's a child. And again, this depends. This is going to be different depending on the age. But just know that this chaos could potentially put your little Taurus in a feeling of wanting to check out a little bit and kind of be in their own world. And you may notice a shift of, I'm just going to kind of withdraw a little bit and be in my own head and space and be happy by myself, or be happy in my own maybe lazy agenda. And I hate to say that word because I don't particularly like the word lazy, but it's more about, there's just, your little person is feeling like, yeah, I'm not gonna, it's, the chaos is potentially too much for them, and they're just gonna shift into this area of, I'm just gonna withdraw for a bit and do my own thing. And it doesn't need to be a negative thing. It did fall in the challenge and conflict position, but it could just be that externally you as a parent are seeing that as a negative. So just know that if you do feel or see a shift, it could potentially be their own way of, self-regulating what's going on. And what's good about this is that it was not paired with like swords. So this shift, this self-regulating is actually better than if they got like swords, like Eight of Swords, that indicates anxiety and not being able to sleep. So if that's what's helping them, dear parent, then, just allow them to be a little lazy. Ooh, okay, and your advice card just flew out. Any other advice? Okay. Oh my gosh, interesting. I don't know. This is an interesting advice pairing. You got the High Priestess and you got the Moon. They are both very much about mystery, uncovering truths. It's also about keeping secrets. It's also about intuition. These are actually heavy cards paired together. Both of these can represent both the sign of Pisces and Cancer. So I don't know if that means anything to you, but it fell in the advice position. This is all about being tuned into your child intuitively. So being aware of what's not being said, because the high priestess keeps mystery and the moon hides things. So potentially your child, what I'm picking up here, dear parent, is that there may be a situation with your little one that during this chaos, whatever this is, and remember the chaos doesn't have to be huge. It could just be big enough to disrupt little one's routine. If you notice, okay, so I'm picking up that for a lot of you, you may have a Taurus that's not going to necessarily speak about what's going on. Okay, so this is about you uncovering the truth yourself, like figuring out, using your intuition, using the non-verbal cues that your child is putting out to figure out what's going on with him or her. Because these two came up because there will be things that you will not be aware of unless you are tuned into your child's body language. Because remember, these are cards of, it's nonverbal. So if you talk to your child and ask, hey, honey, everything okay today at school? Or how are you doing? You may just get out, and that's it. Your little one goes to his or her bedroom. So what the advice here is to not necessarily listen to the verbal your little one is putting out, but listen to the nonverbal. And that's how you are going to uncover what's truly happening with your little one here in the month of September. Okay, dear parent, I hope this was helpful to you, and I will see you back here hopefully next month. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe. I am asking all parents this month that, I really would love to increase the subscription. So if you have friends, family, like 2 to 3 friends or family members that you can ask to subscribe to my channel, I would be so grateful to you, and I greatly appreciate you taking the time to promote this channel. And yes, so I'll see you soon, and I hope this was helpful. Bye.